And we are going to go live right now. Okay, we are live. Hi, how are you?
Good, thank you. How are you? Give me a few seconds so I can share it on my website.
Okay, no problem. Let's share it. And in the meanwhile, I will say hi to everyone. We are live on Instagram, on Facebook, and on YouTube and Twitter. So we are live all over. And let me know once you are ready. Ahmed is just doing, is just sharing it on his Facebook. So it will be nicely arriving to everyone because it's going to be amazing. Super amazing.
Yeah.
So we're live all over.
We're live. So welcome, Meir. Thank you for allocating time to appear. This, it's your show, but it's also I have this conversation with Ahmad, and today we are on the 24th session. So Thank you for joining. And I just want for my viewers of my timeline, Meir Ezra is a spiritual entrepreneur. He is a successful teacher and mentor to hundreds and thousands of people. He has changed the lives of many people. He is a philanthropist and he is a spiritual teacher, and he is my mentor and teacher. And thank you for your time that you are here. The rest of the things, I think, if people ask, we'll give the information, but you can talk about it. One of the items that the people I'm in contact with, especially during this COVID-19 and the pandemic, is that people have difficulty maintaining the good relationships that they have in the family circles, with their friends, with their coworkers. And you are an expert in relationships and communication. So today, the half-hour time that we have together, I hope you will give as much information to the viewers so they can, refresh and renew their relationships and how they can communicate to do that. So.
Yeah, I like that. That's a really good idea. Let me start with something very general about relationship. Probably the main reason relationship get destroyed is because there is something that's called a relationship destroyers that people don't know about them. And the first relationship destroyer is probably the one that we do internally, and it is not knowing that a relationship is not a natural thing. It needs to be created.
I see.
Relationship is not a natural thing. There is no relationship between spirits. There's no brotherhood of spirits. There's brotherhoods of people. There's families between people, but not between spirits. So it is a postulated, a created, something that you need to put there. So you get, so you meet your lady and you create a relationship with her. So it's improving. And after a while, everything goes really well and you decide to get married. And once you get married, you stop creating the relationship. So it ends. So relationship between people, relationship with customers, relationship with your body is a created thing. If you don't work your body will become weak. If you don't work your customers, they will not buy from you. They will even be upset with you because they want the relationship, and your job is to create it. And you create it by not talking, not listening. You create it by a very, very special thing that is the most important thing for everyone. And it is letting the other side know that he was understood. Not agree with. Not right, not wrong, not anything, just understood. People want to be understood. And if you understand them, they have a relationship with you. And if you don't understand them, they don't have a relationship with you. If you're a salesman and you understand your client, he will buy from you. But if you do what most of the salesmen do, which is, I want to get you to understand me, you will not buy from me.
Yeah, you know, your ideas are, if I put it in layman's term, either revolutionary or contrarian. And one thing that really I admire about you, and I am attracted to attend your seminars and webinars and your programs, is that somehow I also am contrarian. Like, I always look at things outside the box and see if there is another way of doing that thing or looking at it. So now I see, yes, you just confirmed that, yes, your approach to everything is contrary to what conventionally people understand.
Yeah, it's a very good observation. And the reason is that if you look at most of the people, you'll see that most of the people fail most of the time. And most of the people have kind of an agreement that how things are. Mm-hmm. Well, obviously, they misunderstand how things are, because if they would be right, there would be most of the time success and not failure. So because most of the people fail most of the time, if you just randomly do the opposite of what everyone else is doing, you'll be successful.
Very good formula for people who are listening, to follow this one. I think I will advise that, when this one is replayed, people should watch it several times, because especially with this period of pandemic, the relationships are really tense between people. And as one of the mutual friends that we know, Raymond Aaron, he says that, when this pandemic is over, there will be a lineup in divorce courts, and there will be a lineup in maternity wards. So for people to avoid going to the divorce courts, this program is something that they have to listen to and watch several times.
Yeah. I think that the reason people actually going through, think about it. You have a husband and wife, and they've been together more time. They should have better relationship, because the general idea is the relationship are not good because we are not enough together, because you're working all the time. This is the general idea. But the fact shows that it's incorrect, because now that you put people together for a long time, they get a lot of divorce. They have a lot of fights. So the truth is that relationship is created not by the length of time that you are together, but only by one thing: how much you understand the other side. This is really how much you understand the other side. If someone understands you, you would be willing to pay him anything. It is the most important thing for a person to be understood.
Yes.
And the way that it's been broken is in many ways. I'll give you one of the ways. Very often, couples or people that are in relationship, or businesses, salespeople, any kind of relationship, very often what you get is you think that you're an accountant and you don't know that you are in a relationship. What do I mean you think they're an accountant? People in relationships start to count. You told me good morning 3 times and I said twice, so I owe you 1. Your parents said that, I said that. You made for me breakfast 6 times and I did not make for you this 3 times. So they count and calculate, trying to balance somehow something that is unbalanceable. And that accounting destroy relationship in a form that you cannot even imagine. Why? Because at the beginning, when you started the relationship, you didn't count how many times you've done something to her or she's done something to you. You wanted to do more for her.
Yeah.
The more you did, the better you felt. And after a while, you start to say, well, I did not do that because she did not do that. And she started and I started. So you become an accountant rather than a lover. And you cannot be the two. You're either an accountant or a lover. You either have you are either a friend or an accountant. You cannot have two hats at the same time. And the moment that you try to hold the two hats at the same time, to be an accountant and a friend, an accountant and a salesperson, an accountant and a lover, an accountant and a father, it doesn't work. The way to love, or the definition of the word love, is the urge to be together for no reason at all. And the moment that you start to count, you're looking for reasons. And the reasons are never the real reason. The reason are never the real reason. I know it sounds weird, but it's true. You will see.
No, I am a master trainer of a program called Verbal Aikido, where we teach communication skills to people. And one of the principles there is also that people don't want you to agree with them, but they do want to be heard, understood, as you mentioned, accepted and respected. And if you can do these four, they're open to listen to you. And then you can have a duplication or whatever you want to do there. And so it's so right what you are saying. Can you tell us how we can increase our ability to understand the other side better or quicker?
Yeah. Okay. So there's something that is worse than dying for a person. There's one thing that's worse than dying for a person. And that thing, this thing is such a thing that when you tell that to a person, you say, do that or to die. Even if they don't admit it, they would prefer to die and not to do that. And that thing is to say that you are wrong. People never, ever say that they are wrong. When you say that you are wrong, you say, I'm wrong because, or I'm wrong but, which means I'm not wrong. Yes?
Yes.
So people cannot be wrong. Okay? They want to be right. Now, how are you going to be right? If I'm right, the only way for me to be right, someone must be wrong. This is really fascinating. If you try to be right, someone must be wrong. Okay, because in this universe, there's not two things that are equal the same. So if I'm right, you are wrong. So there is a kind of a competition going on between people, which is, I know better. And the truth is that when people try to say, I know better, and he looks very certain, I'm right. Those people actually are not right and they are not certain. The more uncertain you are, the more you want to be certain. The more wrong you are, the more you will say that you are right. And that's the problem. That's what you face. This is the problem. Now, if you're smart and if you're listening to this interview, what you need to do is to understand that when someone tells you, I want to be right, what you need to do is to do something that is unbelievable. All you have to say to yourself, he can be right. He doesn't have to be right. He can be right. From his viewpoint, it's okay. He can be right.
Yeah.
Just grant him this beingness of he can be right. You don't agree with him but that he is right, but you just say that he can be right from his viewpoint. The moment that you allow the other person to be right in your mind, you don't even have to say. Your flow, your beingness, the way that you behave changes. And at that moment, the magic happens. The other person do not have to be right anymore.
Yes.
It is the most magical thing that you need to try. The moment that in your mind, secretly, you say to yourself, you know what, he can be right. It's okay. He can be right. From his viewpoint, I can see he can be right. From where he's coming from, if I was in his position, with everything that he's been through, and with his viewpoint, with his limited understanding, yeah, I can see that he can be right like that.
Yeah.
You do that, the other person at that moment have nothing to push against, and he will stop trying to be right. And at that moment, there is something that is, once you experience it, it will be a revelation for you. It will be something that will help you so much, because at that moment, you will both go, whoops, you'll have huge affinity, and you will have this feeling of, wow, I really helped that person. And at that moment, you fulfill your purpose, which is to help other people.
Help others, and the other person will understand, will experience that they are understood.
Yeah.
This
Ahmed, just 1 second. I just want to say hi to everyone on the
sure.
chat.
Okay.
There's some questions. So first of all, thank you for joining us. And if you are on Instagram, I cannot see your chat or comments, but I will see it later. On Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter, I can see your comments, and I see that Aaron is here, and Swapna, and John Swazinski, hi. And Avishai, hi, Avishai Ziv, thank you. And Anita is here, and Della, hi Della, I miss you. Long time, where are you? Beautiful Della, I really like you. And Daniel, hi, thank you. And Amit here as well. And Avishai, can you please give an example for he can be right situation? Yes, let's give an example of he can be right. And Ray is here. Hi, Ray. So he can be right situation. So let's say your wife come home and she says, you know, you promised to do something and you didn't do it. Now you didn't promise and you did it. But she say you promised and you didn't do it, okay? Now two options. Number one, to prove to her that you did it and you did not promise. You might be right, but you will be dead because she will find other ways to make you wrong. On the other hand, if you look and you'll say, you know, from her viewpoint, she doesn't have this data, she doesn't have this data, and she had a day with the kids, and she's upset about something totally different, and I'm just happen to be there, and I am the target for the discharge, and I actually love her, and I want to help her, and I'm willing for her to discharge on me. It doesn't hurt me to hear words, because words do not hurt. And you say, you know, it's okay, she can be right. My job is actually to help her, not to be right. My job is not to be right. My job is to help her. And she said, you are dead. And she started to take the machine gun, and, you know, she accumulated words, and she now shooting them. Yes. And you just say, and you say, wow, I understand. And you understand. You just acknowledge, I understand. 3-4 minutes later, she look at you and she will tell you, you know, you're the best husband that ever been born on earth. And I love you so much. And actually, you know what? I know that you've done it. And I realize that I shouldn't say that. And she will apologize for half an hour. And you will say, it's okay. You don't say, I told you, I know. You just, okay, thank you. And you will see that after 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times like that, you will never fight again. You will never fight again. Yeah. If you can do that just for a few times, you will see there will be no fighting. It is the biggest magic in the universe. If you will just make yourself, just try it for the next 2 days. Everyone that pick up a fight with you, that try to tell you that you are wrong, all you have to do is look from his viewpoint. Obviously, from his viewpoint, he has a distorted viewpoint, okay? He is stupid. He is the worst stupid person in the world. But from his viewpoint, he's doing what he thinks is right. He's doing what he thinks is right. From his viewpoint, he's actually trying to help you to see the right viewpoint. And if you just understand that from his viewpoint, he's right, and you still not God. Yes, you are right, but you are not God. And you should allow him to have his viewpoint. And if you will just allow them, just put a timer on your phone and allow them for 10 minutes to be right, not more, 10 minutes, but totally right, but not just play it, but really accept it. You will never get to 10 minutes. After a few minutes, the guy or the lady will go, wow, I love you. You are so special. You have so much patience with me. You always have patience with me. It's the first time that it happened that you've been patient with her. But for her, it will be life-changing. That's
very good. That was a good example. I don't know, somebody had asked for. You mentioned the word affinity, and it took me to the concept of the ARC triangle. How is there a relationship between understanding the other person and the ARC? Can you elaborate on that a little bit?
Yeah, ARC is standing for Affinity, Reality, and Communication. This is not my concept at all. It's I did not invent it. But of course, if you communicate with someone, okay. Yeah. So I'll give you an example, okay. So I met my wife on a bus. I was in the army, and I just happened to go onto a bus, and I had a very, very short trip, and like I think 10 minutes with her. I went onto a bus, and on this bus, I thought that I'm going onto a bus, but it was actually something totally different. I went onto this bus, and on each seat, there was one lady, soldiers. Each seat, one lady. So my first thought was that it's not a bus, it's heaven. But I was sure that I arrived. So I go onto this bus, and I see her. She was sitting on the fourth seat. The other three women was no. So I went and I sat next to her, and we had like 8-10 minutes drive, and I started to talk to her. So what happened is that because I sat next to her, there was some affinity. Affinity is the ability to share the same space, yes? So we sat together, there's an affinity. Because you have a closeness with another being, immediately you will want automatically to talk to them. You will want to communicate. So I say hi, and she says hi. And I ask her what kind of music you like. And she told me that she liked Pat Metheny. Don't know who's Pat Metheny. And I said, what kind of music is that? And she said, jazz. And I said, oh, jazz. I love jazz. At that second, I started to love jazz like I didn't love jazz before. Why? Because it's the same reality. Now, I actually decided I love jazz. And I love jazz. And she started to talk to me about jazz and how important, how amazing this guy is. And I was listening. I agreed with her. We created big realities. So we created more communication. She wanted to talk to me even more. And I agree with her even more. And we felt like we understood each other very much. But I had a problem because we had only 8 minutes and I needed the phone number. So I've asked her for her phone number. And she said, you know, I'll give you the phone number, but you don't write it. You need to remember. If you remember, fine. Now, at that time, there was no cell phones, nothing like that. Yes. So she gave me the phone number. I go down from the bus, jump on the highway, take my gun and stop the first car that came through. And the guy stopped and I said, I came to him and he's like all frightened. Well, what's happening? What's happening? I said, I need a pen. So, and I called her and we spoke over the phone only about things that we agree with each other.
Yes, yeah.
And we spoke over the phone for 6 months over things that we agree with each other. But there was a major thing that we did not agree about. We couldn't find time to meet.
Ah, wow.
Yeah, because I was in the army, she was in the army. We couldn't find time to meet. And we decided that we are not going to talk anymore because of this drop in reality that caused a drop in affinity because we were far from each other for a long time. And despite the fact that we spoke once per week, we were far from each other, and there was not enough things in common. So we decided that we are not going to talk to each other. And how come we got married after all of that? That's a different story.
But you have been married for 35 years now, right?
35 years, all because I stopped this car with a gun.
And you recorded the phone number. Well, I'm just behind you. I have been married for 31 years.
Ah, nice. Well done. Well done. Very well done. Lots of relationship creation.
And my wife, she didn't go to the army, but what she misses in shooting, she can shoot with her mouth.
Oh, wow. Nice.
Sharpshooter.
Yeah. Well, that means that you're going to be very, you're going to keep in line because she can shoot.
She keeps me in line, yes. I have a lot of, like these art, the place where you shoot the art,
yes.
the arrows. Yeah, it's full of holes, my chest.
You've got strong chest.
Anyway, okay, so the next item I wanted to know was, even though you referred to it briefly, but I want you to elaborate on it. How do communications play a role in keeping the relationships at high tone?
Okay, so communication, you need to understand about communication. Most people think that communication is some kind of a word that you say, and for as long as you're making noises, you have communication. And some people think that communication is an understanding, and some people think that communication is all kinds of things. But actually, communication is the ability to close yourself, that you care enough about the other person that you will deliver to them some kind of a message and they will accept it. Which means you will say only those things that they can understand easily. It means that you will say only those things that they can experience easily. You will say only those things that will be real for them.
Yeah.
Communication is not just saying the truth. It's not just saying but this is the truth. The truth has nothing to do with right and wrong. Zero to do with right and wrong. It might be true that someone, you go to a party and you see this lady and she's ugly. She's like really ugly. And the truth is that she's ugly. But it's not right to go and tell her that she's ugly because it doesn't help anyone. So right is actually this thing that assists the survival of the greatest number of people or things. This can be considered right. And when you communicate, your job is to bring about more right, which means to say only or to communicate only those things that the other person can easily experience, not experience, easily experience. And how do you know if your communication is actually arriving and if the person can easily experience it? If he easily experiences it, you will see that he immediately going to like you. He will feel better. He will like you. And when a person likes you, his willingness to help you goes up. So it's actually good for you. It's actually good for you. So if you understand that communication is this thing that the other person can easily experience, like with no effort, he doesn't need to become a gymnast in his mind to somehow accept what you say. Easily experience, if you can get that, you will see that other person immediately and automatically will start to love you, to want to help you. And at that moment, you start to have an exchange and the relationship grows and everything goes well.
Well, let me tell you a secret. I attended your program today and I want to give you a testimonial on that. I learned how to follow some of the things that we discussed today. So after we finished, I usually have 2 meals in a day. So my breakfast is really a brunch. It's around 2 o'clock, 2:30. So I asked my wife if she had breakfast, and she said no. I said, okay, I'm going to prepare this breakfast for myself. Shall I prepare for you also? And said, yes, yes, please. So I did it. And I can say that I created a lot of affinity as a result of it.
Yes, yes. Yeah, very
So
nice. Well done.
the advice that you give people, they're really practical. We have to follow them through.
Yep.
Now, one thing, you know, you created such a big movement when you had these free seminars, the path to the Yoga Sutras. You had 6 programs free, and hundreds of people came, and everybody, in my opinion, from those that I talked to, they were all amazed by the amount of what they learned and what they got away with.
Mm-hmm.
I heard the rumor last night that you are trying to do something about relationships. Can you tell us a little bit about that? And so maybe
the rumor is true. I'm planning to do a relationship seminar, and it's going to start with a series of 3 webinars that we will go through all the relationship destroyers. And if you, and this is totally free. This is just a service to help people to handle the broken relationships that they have before COVID. COVID just made it more obvious. Yes, so to handle those broken relationships, I would give you a very practical tools how to fix any relationship, not only romantic relationship, any relationship. If you have a problem in a relationship with your body, if you are sick, you have a problem of a relationship with your body, I will show you exactly what to do. If you have a problem with your kids, I'll show you exactly what to do. If you have a problem with your employees, with your boss, if you have a problem with your computer, this is all relationship issues. And once you've learned the principles of relationships, you will be able to handle any relationship because the principle works the same. Yes. And we will go over all the relationship destroyers. And on this once you've learned the relationship destroyers, you'll be able to spot what's the problem, have a tool to fix it. And you will see that after the first webinar already, you will have an improved relationships wherever you go. And people will tell you, wow, something has changed about you. And that thing that's changed about you is knowledge, because knowledge, when it is actual knowledge bring about control. Knowledge results in control, and control results in income or an improvement.
Yes.
All the improvement in the universe are the result of either knowledge or you become more responsible. One of the things. All the improvements in the universe, it's either that you decided I'm going to be more responsible, or you decided I'm going to learn something. That's all. There's no other ways to improve. And you'll see that this knowledge will improve the relationships, and the income will be more love, more affinity, more income, actual cash. Because if you improve the relationship with your boss, you'll get a bigger salary. If you improve your relationship with your customers, you'll get bigger deals. If you improve the relationship with the person that at the grocery shop, you'll get a better service. It's income. It's always income.
Is the time fixed, or is there any link where people can go, or when will it be ready for that?
Probably will be ready by Thursday. We're preparing the landing pages and so on and so on. So Thursday it will be ready. At the moment, I'm telling you, it's coming. And what you should do in the meanwhile, if you want to get advice about relationship or about any problem that you have, all you have to do is to follow me on Instagram, Meir Ezra Official. So it's MEIREZ, or America, not American, Europe, EZRA. So MEIREZRA Official, Meir Ezra Official, and follow me and send me a private message, and I always answer. I always give very, very, very practical, spot on answer that works. 90% of the time, you will not like it.
Actually, I have sent you.
It requires some work. Yes.
I have sent you emails from time to time, and you have responded. So far, there isn't an instant where I didn't like it. So
because you've been studying with me for a long time, so you have the viewpoint. But for a new person, when I come to a new person, I tell him, you have a problem with your wife. What you need to do is to count all the good things about her. And he says, he usually answers and he says, what do you mean count all the good thing about her? The best thing about it is if she's dead. Like this kind of, whoa, wow, she's your wife. You never loved her? No, I never loved her. Do you have children? Yes, of course we have children, three children. So I said, 3 children, it's at least each one is 5 seconds, 15 seconds. You loved her, no? For at least 15 seconds, yes? So, no, I never loved her. And actually, I get the person to see that he actually loves her. Because if you hate someone, it's a proof that you love them.
Yes. Yeah.
Because love comes before hate. Plus come before minus. You cannot remove something if it was not there first. So somethingness comes before nothingness.
It's very true. The last question I want to ask your opinion on is, some people, they don't have a kind of balance in their life. They either focus on their business and then they neglect the children and the family, and maybe that leads to deterioration of relationships. Some other people don't have that kind of balance. Is there a direct relationship that, let's say, if you are not having good relationships at home, you cannot be successful in business, and vice versa, and things like that?
Yeah, so let's look at someone that thinks that only business, okay, and no family. Business is the only thing that's important. If you need to put so much effort on your business, it means you're not controlling your business. Think about it. If you need to put so much attention in your business that you cannot leave it for 2 seconds, you're not so good. It's like if I'm a guitar player and I need to put my attention on my fingers so much that I cannot look at for a second on the audience, I'm not a good guitar player. If I'm a good driver that I cannot take my eyes off the road for a millisecond, I'm not a good driver. This is what happened when you are really at the beginning. You start to drive a car and you're like that.
Yeah.
And you cannot, don't talk to me, I'm driving. Meanwhile, he's still standing, yes? But it's so like, So if someone has to be so concentrated in something that he cannot do anything else, he still don't know what he's doing. So obviously it's an indication that you don't know. And you need to learn how to fix it. And probably if you put so much attention on something and it doesn't get improved, the problem is not what you put in your attention on, the problem is before. And the very fascinating thing that come before business is relationship. Relationship create business, not business create relationship.
Yeah.
So if you don't have good relationship at home, for sure, you don't have good relationship with your employees, you don't have good relationship with your customers. And even if it seems like you have good relationship, it's fake, and it's just a matter of time before it will explode. Even if it looks like you have the best relationship with your customers, it's fake, and it's only a matter of time before it will explode. And if you look at your past, you will see that it was, and if you're in that situation, it will seem like you have good relationship with your customers, but something went wrong and something exploded and you lost your business. I think it did not go as well as you wanted, because relationship come before business.
That's very important to know. You know, to you know, put it so that it on a cellular level people understand it. You know, that yes, this is it, where the seniority comes, where they should focus first. Well, Meir, thank you very much for your time, for your wisdom, and for sharing. And I just want the viewers to know that so we are lucky that Meir is going to have perhaps several free webinars on relationships, which as you just heard, is senior to business and to other things. So be prepared by Thursday. Perhaps you can be, even before Thursday, you can follow Meir on Facebook, on Instagram, on LinkedIn. But also once the link is there, I will put it on my timeline. So come to my timeline also and you will find it, and then register for it. I will be there. I'll be there.
Thank you. So how do they follow you? What is your Facebook?
I have I have around yeah, it went several times to 5,000 people, but then I removed some people. It's now approaching 5,000 that are in my list.
How someone find you? What do they type in? Just your name?
Just my name, Ahmed Shah Duranai.
Okay, good.
Shah Duranai, and then they will find me.
Okay, great. So thank you, and please follow me. Thank you for joining us. I see Shaked, you are here. Hi, Shaked. And I see some Facebook user that I with no name. And Della, thank you. You are here. We need to do more, Della. I miss you. And Anita, you are here. Hi. You are master solving issues, relationship issue, Meir Ezra. Yes. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
And here on my timeline, there is Bao is here. Bao Tran. Hello, Bao. And Avery is here also.
Nice. Avery. Yes. Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much. We'll see you tomorrow. Yes.
Yeah.
We'll see you tomorrow at the same time. I'm not sure who is interviewing me tomorrow, but at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we will be here. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Meir.
Thank you. Always nice talking to you, Ahmed. Thank you very much.